folks. It's product recommendation. I can't talk tonight. It's product recommendation time with Ken David Stewart. I do one of my blogs. It's called Ken David Stewart's Recommendations of all things, in which I review everything pretty well. But I've done a lot on audiobooks, books, DVDs, box sets of DVDs, music of all kinds. Tonight, speaking of box sets, and my favorite box set actually, called Nuggets. Original artifacts from the first psychedelic era, 1965 to 1968, and this is a classic. I am going to open this up, and with it comes, by the way, you can get this through Amazon, Amazon.com, a booklet. Really, really nice booklet, very informative. Now, the Nuggets collection largely deals with garage rock that was very popular around the 1965 to 68 era. It was a great era for music because you would, some of you read my blogs, I've written a bit about it, where a group of guys, teenagers, could get together, and females for that matter, and form a band. They could be 15, 16 years old, and they could record a song which would become a hit 45. And for you young people who don't know what a 45 is, you can ask your folks or your grandparents. But anyway, it was just a single record basically. Now, in this collection of, now a lot of these bands were one-hit wonders, by the way. In other words, they'd have one or two hits and then they just kind of faded into obscurity. Some of them would actually be, their record would only be a hit locally, like in their state or something like that. There's 4 volumes to the set, and I'm seeing if I can get them in any kind of particular order here, because I'm just pulling them out of my box set here. And see if I can come up with number 1 here, and just give you some of the songs that are on it. There's a very psychedelic type picture on the front. Here's the back. I don't know how well you can see these on the camera. This one is volume 1. Nuggets, original artifacts from the first psychedelic era, 1965 to 68. Now this one has some classic songs on it. One of them is I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night by the Electric Prudes. That was kind of the, one of the original psychedelic type songs. Then you had the great garage band classic, Dirty Water by the Standells. I actually saw the Standells play in Winnipeg. They were actually one of the warm-up acts or backup acts, I guess, for the Rolling Stones when they played in '66 in Winnipeg. And they did do Dirty Water. That was probably their biggest hit. And who can forget the Seeds, Pushing Too Hard. Great, great song. Then we've got Multi by the Barbarians. There's a whole, now the Barbarians were one of the garage bands, and one of the things that made them kind of unique is their drummer, who was nicknamed Multi, had an accident when he was a teenager and had a hook for one of his hands. And this song, Multi, is sort of about his story. What else is on here that's really odd? There's classics like Hey Joe by The Leaves. There's a song with 13th Floor Elevators. The Blues Magoos actually doing a version of Tobacco Road. Please Don't Go by the Amboy Dukes. You may remember the version done by the British group called Them. And Oh Yeah by the Shadows of Night. Now the Shadows of Night, actually, it's not on here, but had a big single hit with Gloria, which was once again recorded by the band Them. Okay, let's look at another volume right now. I mean, there's just so much good stuff on here. Oh yeah, here's, which volume is this? Volume 3. I'm skipping around a bit. Uh, this one is a song called I Need You by the Rationals. Now, if you want to hear a real good version of this, though, get one of the greatest hit collections. I think it's the Ultimate Kinks collection or something, because the Kinks did I Need You as a B version of one of their 45s, and it's just classic, classic rock. Okay, but the Rationals do a good version of it too. Also on this is She's About a Mover by Sir Douglas Quintet. Great song. Anything else really captures my attention here on this particular disc? Lots of great songs on this one. Okay, let's look at another. See which volume this is. Volume 2. Oh, one of the classics. Talk Talk by the Music Machine. Oh wow, Alice Cooper actually covered this many years later. What else have we got? Time Won't Let Me by the Outsiders. That is almost the definition of garage rock in the 1960s. Oh, It Can't Seem to Make You Mine by the Seeds. Fantastic. The Beau Brummels, Laugh Laugh. I had actually a very hard time finding that song in any record collection or any CD collection, but I've got it now. And one of my favorite all-time garage bands, of course, Paul Revere and the Raiders, Steppin' Out. And one of my favorite singles of all time by a band called the Syndicate of Sound called Little Girl. And we've got the Blues Magoos' biggest hit. I actually saw them in Winnipeg once too. They played on the same show with Herman's Hermits and the Who, believe it or not. They were the first act, I believe. And they had a big hit with We Ain't Got Nothing Yet. Okay, let's see what else I can tell you about very quickly here. Oh, the garage band classic of all time, Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. Interestingly enough, Paul Revere and the Raiders also recorded that song around the same time, though their hit wasn't as big with the same song there. Okay, but speaking of Paul Revere and the Raiders, Just Like Me is on here, a classic song which a lot of Winnipeg bands did, and probably my ultimate, what I'd have to say is my ultimate garage band song, my favorite, by the Barbarians with Molty and the Boys, of course. Are You a Boy or Are You a Girl? You know, just classic stuff. So, you know, I highly recommend this collection because, you know, some of these songs are just priceless. Some of them you won't have heard of because they were only local hits in an area or two. Wooly Bully, Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. Wow. I mean, look, these songs were recorded in really fun times. So once again, folks, I'd just like to recommend, now that I've taken the whole box apart, Nuggets. Okay, we'll see you again. Did I hold that upside down? I'm trying to look here. No, I think I got it right this time. Okay, we'll see you again, folks, and keep on rocking.